Okay, so we are making hummus today, and hummus is pretty simple to make. It consists of chickpeas, canned, preferably over dried. Some people call them garbanzo beans. Garlic, and amount is going to be your preference. Lemon juice, and fresh lemon's the way to go, but we don't have any right now, so I'm using bottled lemon juice, which we'll end up using more of as a result because it's not fresh. Salt, pepper, and olive oil, and in this case I'm using extra virgin olive oil. You can make it without the olive oil. It will not end up being as creamy or smooth, and traditionally you use olive oil. In this case we're going to go pretty light, and we're going to mix everything up in a blender. Food processor is the ideal way to make this, but you could use an immersion blender like a stick blender, or you can use a standard blender or a food processor. Okay, so if you're going to go light on the olive oil or not use it at all, what you're going to want to do is when you drain your chickpeas, you're going to want to reserve at least 1 can's worth of liquid, and we're going to use that to help get the consistency right of the hummus, rather than using oil specifically, because the only liquids in this are going to be the lemon juice and whatever oil you use. So you can use the liquid from the chickpeas if you'd like. Okay, so people use the term to taste a lot when cooking, and that can be really challenging because there's really no measurement there. The amount of garlic you're going to use in this is definitely going to be your preference. The garlic is going to be raw. The lemon is definitely going to help smooth it out. But chickpeas, second to maybe unseasoned rice, are probably the most bland thing on the face of the earth. So we typically do about 3 cans worth of chickpeas and about a small head of garlic. So somewhere between 5 and 6 cloves. And the technique that I use for peeling the garlic, since it doesn't need to be minced or chopped, because we're using a blender or a food processor to do this, is going to be to smash it, and you can either actually smash it or you can just kind of press it with your hand and a flat side of a knife. And when you do that, it's going to crush the garlic a little bit, but as a result, the shell is going to automatically peel away from the garlic itself. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So there you can see the garlic is peeled, and we just cut the back off as well. Okay, so we've got 3 cans of chickpeas, and those are 14-ounce cans, by the way. We've got about 6 cloves worth of garlic, and I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons of lemon juice right off the bat. I know we'll end up adding more than that, but that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to add some cracked black pepper to it, and probably about a ½ tablespoon worth of kosher salt. And then we're going to blitz this up and see where we're at. Okay, so the biggest challenge about using a food processor, or using a blender rather than a food processor, is that there's not going to be enough liquid in here to start with, so it's probably going to seize up. So I'm going to start using a pulse mode on puree to get things moving, and then we're probably going to need to add some more liquid, liquid from the chickpeas themselves, so it doesn't seize up in here. So you can see it's already seizing up a little bit. Okay, so we haven't added any oil yet at this point, and it took just about a whole can's worth of liquid for this to start coming together enough that it would blend. So we're now going to taste this and check for seasoning, and you'll be adding either more lemon juice, more salt, more pepper, and you may be adding oil at this point. Okay, so we're good for salt, and I'm going to add a bit more pepper and at least one more, maybe a tablespoon and a half worth of lemon juice. We're definitely good for garlic, and we're definitely good for salt. Okay, so I gave that another whirl, and we're good at this point. You could add things like roasted red peppers. You could add some cayenne or some chilies to this if you wanted a little bit of heat, but we're good to go. So we'll pull this out of the blender now and into a container. Okay, so again, that was 3 cans worth of chickpeas, about 2 cloves of garlic per can, and between half a lemon and a full lemon's worth of lemon juice per can, depending on how big your lemons are and how tart you like it. We like ours quite lemony, and in this case, I haven't used any oil at all, so we used a full can's worth of liquid.